already know the drill. We back again with another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And strap on your seatbelts, because it's all pedal to the metal from here. And without further ado, your amazing host, Drew Billy.
Digging that opening. I love
it. It gets me hyped up. It's my alarm clock. It's my, it just gets me going. Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with your host, Drew Billy, and host Trevor Dinsmore. We got a lot of different things to touch on. But Trevor, how are you doing today?
Doing okay, buddy. Not too bad for a Tuesday. Some say the most boring day of the week. It wasn't for me today. It was exciting in a good and not so good way, but it ends pretty good. I will say that much.
Yes. No. But I got a little bit of NFL stuff. Trevor has a whole bunch of what's more likely. He has Dinsy's, what the heck did we call it? Called it Dinsy's
draft. You had it on the screen as Dinsy's draft picks. I call it Dinsy's draft dissertation, but we can't really fit that on the bottom of the screen. So we'll just call it Dinsy's draft picks and call it a day. That works.
No. Yeah. We got a whole bunch for you people out there. But for Philadelphia fans, and actually just football fans around, if you're a fan of the game, we lost a good one in the form of retirement today. Jason Kelsey, or when was it actually announced, Trevor?
Yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday, I believe he had his presser. And then all the videos, all the reels and TikToks and everything kind of came out late night into the morning.
Right. Yeah, no, the star center for 13 seasons with the Eagles. Hall of Famer, Trevor, I think we can say that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, eight-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, a legend in the city of Philadelphia, and legend in football fandom, if you will. Whether he's, screaming shirtless at a Chiefs game, or he's wearing a Rey Mysterio mask at the after party, or whether he's dressing up. I think it was the genie from Aladdin after the Philadelphia Eagles won their Super Bowl. He dressed up as that during the parade. Great showman, great sportsman, and as he kind of alluded to in his speech, turned into a great family man, great father and husband.
Yes. Yeah, no, and it's sad to see his career end the way it did with the Buccaneers loss. I think we were on here week 8, week 9. They're looking okay, and then slowly me, you, and Nate were saying, "Oh God, okay, we're concerned here." So it's sad to see a career like that, but he did get that Super Bowl championship that he deserves, and it'll be a Phillies legend forever. So, but other news here, Trevor, both of us being Penn State, well, you being alumni of Penn State, but both fans of Penn State football. Saquon Barkley dealing with some shit with the Giants organization. I'm okay with him going. I don't know if I would be if I was a Giants fan, but let's let him have an actual career, for fuck's sake. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah. I've long desired the day that Saquon would no longer be a Giant and he wouldn't be a part of that inconsistent and at times wretched and unprofessional organization that is the New York Giants. Yeah, they won their 2 Super Bowls. They went on a couple of wild card runs and beat Brady's Patriots. All the power to them for that. They have a couple Lombardis this century. That's amazing for them. But shit has really hit the fan for that organization in these last few years. I mean, you give Daniel Jones that $40 million deal, and it's pretty much all but confirmed by every insider that has a mouth that the Giants are pretty much done with Daniel Jones.
Yep.
They're just done with him. They might have to ride it out for another season while they try and find a quarterback. If they don't get the right guy with their pick, I honestly forget where they're drafting right now. I think I have it up. I can kind of allude to it as I'm talking through here, but it's right now it's just a shit show of an organization, and I can't wait for Saquon to, go where he's hopefully going to be utilized properly, where he's not going to be the entire offense. Giants picked 6th, by the way, so that could be an interesting spot for them. But no, happy to see Saquon test the market here. And the Giants, they confirmed that they're not going to franchise him, correct? He's not going to be subject to that again.
Well, which guy?
There's that just all but true, because they can't officially do anything yet, I don't believe.
Well, the front office is split on it, but the one guy, fuck, who the hell? I forget. It doesn't say in the article which guy. It just says a spokesperson from the Giants is not happy about them not taking him. But who gives a shit? I mean, it's up to the board and the owner if they want to keep him or not. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you want the talent or not. Here's the other thing that people forget about him, and I think what drives me nuts is he's been injury plagued, but the reason he's injury plagued is he's basically fucking Christian McCaffrey for the Giants. He literally has to do every single thing, and some people's body just can't take that. That's just So I think his career has just he has that standout career at Penn State. He goes into the NFL, and it's just been shit. They have not given him a line, Trevor. He was on the back end of Eli's career. Am I wrong in that?
At the very end of it, yeah.
And then you got Daniel Jones that can't even throw fucking 100 yards in a game, and they're handing it off to you 25 times. I mean, that's just but they'll give him the money, but they won't give you the money. It's just, I don't know.
Daniel Jones can throw. Let's don't get it twisted
right.
here. He has talent,
right?
But the system that they're running right now, it doesn't matter what system you're running if your offensive line is giving up the most sacks in the last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
When your quarterback's constantly on the ground, it's just not going to go. Steeler fans know that, right? How much Big Ben was sacked back in the day? When he was getting sacked quite a bit, the offense wouldn't go. That's just the way it was. And granted, Ben had the physicality to and the escapability to escape, get out of the pocket, and extend plays and make things happen. But Daniel Jones, he has that ability to an extent, but he's not nearly as physical.
Right.
And that does not bode well for a team without an offensive line.
No.
Yeah, you got to build a team from the inside out. If you don't have guys in the trenches that are going to win battles, it's not going to go good for your offense. And Giants offense, they got exposed this past season. And now, they're reaping what they sow. Daniel Jones might be out of there pretty soon. Saquon's, in all likelihood, going to be a free agent. Lord knows whatever else is going to happen. There's rumors Darren Waller might retire as well. Lord knows what's going to happen with that defense. They got some aging veterans. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the Giants. And again, they picked 6th. And Lord knows what they're going to do with that pick. Are they going to trade up? Are they going to trade back? Is they try and get more capital? A lot's going to unfold in that organization in these next 6 weeks. I can assure you that.
Right. No, and it's going to be an interesting night on draft night to see what the hell they do. But Mike Evans also, we talked about it last night.
Yes.
2-year deal for $52 million, $35 million guaranteed. Now we're waiting for Baker's contract. Is that right, Trevor?
That's absolutely correct. And because of the way that the Daniel Jones contract was structured, $40 million guaranteed over 4 years, you got to give Baker at least that, right?
Yes.
Because he led a team. I mean, yes, he wasn't the most consistent guy. Baker's not the most consistent quarterback in the NFL. I'll give him that. But he's a fiery competitor, and he knows how to will his team to wins. Case in point, Buccaneers, they were expected to get last in the division this past year. They went 9-8, and they won a playoff game.
Right.
I can't complain about that with an aging roster and a seemingly, not a very good plethora of leftover weapons, I guess. Well, especially on the offensive line. I believe they lost Ryan Jensen. So, you got to give Baker a bag, man. And my money's on him staying in Tampa Bay. That was my call from day one, that he was going to stay in Tampa. And this Mike Evans signing for 2 years, which thankfully he got a deal too, because one of a few receivers in NFL history to have his first 10 years get 1,000 yards receiving. Just the immeasurable consistency with him, even with, guys like Jameis Winston. Well, I guess Jameis Winston could chuck it up with the best of them, but
right.
With a plethora of other quarterbacks that they've had back there, he's still at 1,000 yards every single season. It's amazing. He's a receiver that makes quarterbacks better, not the other way around.
I agree.
And he makes Baker a hell of a lot better, and he's going to make Baker a bag.
Yeah. No, and then another guy that got his bag taken away, Russell Wilson. That's Broncos taking an $85 million hit on this little endeavor they had with the old Mr. Wilson there for a 5-year I cringe when I see this number. $242 million extension in 22. And then you just say, fuck it. We're done with him. How many, I got 2 questions for you, Trevor, and I'm very excited. I've been waiting all day to ask you, how far does this set them back? And what the hell are they going to do now in the draft with quarterback?
Let me see where they draft here. First of all, I don't recall if they have a top 10 pick. No, they don't. They have the 12th overall pick. So you're potentially looking at a Bo Nix, or on the off chance that Drake May even falls out of the top 5. You're looking at a Bo Nix, a Michael Penix at that spot. I have no earthly idea what they're going to do. They're one of those wild cards too, that it's going to be fun to watch what unfolds in these next 6 weeks. As I've alluded to on this program before, you got ownership and Sean Payton giving mixed signals, and Russell Wilson saying he wants to be there, then he doesn't want to be there, and then he put out that post basically saying thanks but no thanks, Denver, goodbye. And now Denver's literally just eating, an $82 million dead money hit for him?
Yeah.
How far does it set him back? I'd say a good 3 or 4 years at least.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. And like you said, Lord knows what they're going to do at quarterback, because if they bring a rookie in there, they're going to have to develop him, which, that's probably the best option considering the money factor. But again, I don't know. They could always just do what the Steelers did, go get a random free agent, sign him for a year. Joe Flacco's out there, by the way. He's allegedly not retiring.
Right.
So maybe go get him to fill in for a season. You get a veteran presence in there, maybe develop some of the young guys like your Cortland Suttons and your Jerry Judys, develop them some more while you put the whole quarterback situation on hold while you got all this dead money chilling out there.
Right.
That's an option too.
Right.
That's an option too.
Again, these guys that are running these organizations, I am a couch potato shit talker, but I think you, me, and Nate's not here tonight, but I think all 3 of us could run a fucking organization to a T. I think we could do a little better, because the comment that comes out after this, Trevor, after they get rid of Russell, this is a joint statement with George Payton, the GM, or Patton, and Sean Payton, head coach of the Broncos. They say, we are trying to build the strongest team possible in 2024 season and beyond. Okay. You're not going to be able to do that with $85 million just fucked out there. You got 3 weapons. You got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Javonte Williams. That's it. That I don't see any other talent on your offensive side. Now the defense, I can't even name anybody. I know that might be offensive to Broncos fans.
Surtain.
That's it. Patrick. Okay, he's still there. Okay, that's it.
Quite frankly, one of the more underrated corners in the game, Surtain is. And that is definitely a defense where the sum of the parts is not as great as the whole. Just kind of based on what you just alluded to. You can't really name anybody other than, off the top of my head anyway, I can't really name anybody other than Surtain.
No.
And they came on strong last year, especially after giving up 70 points to the Dolphins.
They did.
But, we'll see. We'll see what kind of continuity is on that side of the ball, and we'll see if they're going to draft defense too, because I don't know. That team has a lot of needs. Quarterback is probably first among them. But
if you're Sean
no,
Payton
I
right
don't know.
now,
Yeah, if you're a Broncos fan, you're in a very weird spot right now. You're in a very, very weird spot, and you've gone through this plethora of quarterbacks since you won that Super Bowl.
yep.
I think I saw a list where like 10 or 12 names were on there since Peyton Manning, and the Broncos won that Super Bowl when Von Miller won MVP.
Yep.
Um,
you Drew
where
Lock.
do you go from here? No clue.
All right. Sean Payton right now saying, what the f- did I do here? Why did I come back? Do you think he's questioned himself a little bit, or is he still charged up?
I hope he's still charged up for the sake of Broncos fans and Broncos country, so to speak.
We are
You
not
don't want
riding right now. We are not.
No,
riding.
they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's easy to say that as an outsider looking in, but his job is to develop talent. His job is to scout talent. His job is to, put a game plan together, put his team in the best situation possible to win. He's going to focus on that. He's been doing it for a long, long time. That's what he's going to focus on. He's not going to focus on all this chit chatter coming in and out of there.
Right.
As far as his confidence, he was definitely more confident that it was going to work with Russ, that he was going to be able to unlock Russ and, perhaps let him cook a little more. But the reality of the situation is Russ is older. He's 35 now. He's not as athletic as he used to be. That's just the nature of the game. That's just how it is. And you can't have a conflict between your quarterback and your system and then resolve that quickly.
Right.
And that's what the Broncos dealt with last season coming into the 2023 season. And unfortunately, that kind of carried over.
Right. No, but it's been a week. We got 3 more things here, and then a little bit of franchise take guys, and then Trevor's going to take over here. But it's been a week of QB news. Daniel Jones, Rich Eisen show. Shout out to them. I don't want to take away, take anything from their show and not give them a shout out. You got to watch the clip. If you're watching us right now, or you're watching this video, go look up Rich Eisen show and the Daniel Jones segment. He alludes to the Giants are absolutely done with Daniel Jones. Like we talked about, there's no chance of him being their quarterback. I don't know where they go from here, but he's saying that the Giants fans have no remorse if he gets kicked out, gets the boot. They will not be sad to see him go.
Would you?
I guess you made a good point that I didn't really. I've been bashing him ever since the beginning. I'm not even going to say the comments I've said about him on PlayStation with you and me and all the other guys. But the line, I didn't realize how bad the line is until you said that. If you really look back at some of the games, he has no fucking time. And that's why you see the rushing yards he has, because he has to scramble and get the fuck out of there, or he's going to lose yards. I get it.
Yeah. Well, not to mention the factor that it shakes your confidence as a quarterback.
Yeah.
It throws off your timing, your internal clock's all screwed up. I mean, granted, I've never stepped on a football field and played organized football beyond JV, but and I never played quarterback either. I wasn't. I was, I was even shorter than I am now, if you can believe that. Wow. Yeah. But from what I've gathered, it just throws everything off. Pressure just throws everything off. That's why it's the age-old adage: you pressure the quarterback, you're going to disrupt offenses. You're going to get in their head. Why do you think Spagnuolo is so successful?
Right.
He disrupts quarterbacks. He brings these exotic blitzes. He attacks your weaknesses on the line or at tight end or whoever's blocking, whatever scheme you're running. He attacks the weaknesses and he throws the quarterbacks off their game. That's what happened with Penix against Michigan in the national championship, too. He's used to standing back there, just slinging the rock. And believe me, he can spin the rock. He's got a hell of an arm. And he's super, super talented. Did not think he would do that well when I saw him at Indiana. But he got thrown off his game because of the pass rush.
Right.
That's just how it goes. And Daniel Jones thrived on a balance of the running game and an offensive line that actually knew what the hell they were doing. He did that at Duke. He did that for a season with the Giants the year previous when I guess Daboll was on good terms with the Giants players and personnel. That didn't carry over into 2023. It's kind of unfortunate.
Right.
One more thing on the Russell Wilson thing.
Yeah.
The rumor that he might come to Pittsburgh was dispelled today. I saw a Bleacher Report article on that saying that the Steelers are not interested in bringing in veteran quarterback Russell Wilson.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I might shut a fucking beer.
Lord knows what would be coming with him, along with the cap hit. So,
oh God damn it! No, yeah, we don't need that.
But
thank you. But
yeah.
Prescott, Dak Prescott, this is a shit show in itself. I didn't realize how bad it was too. He comes with a $59 million cap hit this in his final season of his contract. I didn't realize that, and now he's like, I would like to do an extension after the season with the Cowboys. Future in Dallas for Dak, and what the hell are they going to do with this $59 million cap hit here? This is a shit show.
I mean, knowing Jerry, he's going to have to just put up with it. Either that, or he's going to have to sign Dak to an extension, and as he says, go all in on him, and potentially restructure that deal to where that $59 million cap hit is offset in the future years, so you can bring in a guy like Derrick Henry. So you can bring in like other free agent receivers. So as far as what's going to happen with Dak, he'll remain a Cowboy for how long? I would imagine for the rest of his career, because the Dallas faithful and Jerry Jones, they have a raging what for him.
Right.
So he's not going anywhere. It's just a matter of how do they get the deal done.
Right. And I guess when you look in future here, CeeDee Lamb's going to need a deal. Micah Parsons is going to need a deal. So
correct.
I don't know, Trevor. I think we're going to see some turmoil down there in the old fucking big state, Texas.
Yeah. No, I mean, we already know the outcome of their season for next season. I already know it right now. I know it right now. 11, 12 wins and a loss in the divisional.
Yeah, Jesus. But and then the other thing here, big news. I know Cincinnati Bengals fans and even the guys in the hobby of collecting sports cards are concerned. What the fuck's going on with Joe Burrow? In the next month and a half, he will be throwing the football after the issue with the injury to his wrist back in November 27th. So everybody needs to calm the fuck down. Joe Burrow's coming back. We'll see what the hell's going on there. There's been a lot of weird shit coming out. He's going to have to change his throwing motion. I said, I believe the guy we were just talking about, Dak, Russell Wilson, went through it. The same kind of hand injury, and you didn't see really any issue with their throwing motion. So we need to calm the hell down. Burrow's still young as well. So I don't know. When this shit happens, Trevor, people just blow.
No, I know. And from my experience in just evaluating talent and looking at some of these injuries that these quarterbacks face, it's more shoulder and elbow injuries, like point of rotation stuff.
Yeah.
That'll screw with you rather than the wrists and the hands. I mean, obviously you need everything healthy for you to throw properly, but geez, look at Peyton Manning, what he had to go through to get his throwing motion back after the shoulder surgery. And then Ben with that non-contact injury to his elbow, his right elbow, or inside of his right arm. What I think it was ligaments in his arm. Mm-hmm. That just completely screwed with him.
Right.
He couldn't throw it as long, had to adjust the throwing motion. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. And then same thing with Phillip Rivers, all the punishment that he took over the years, and a result of like back, shoulder, pretty much every injury you can think of with Phillip Rivers forced him to have this like sidearm type of a delivery in his final couple seasons with the Chargers and with the Colts there. So I'd say more so the shoulder and elbow and pretty much everything from the elbow up, including the back too. Of course, the back. That's going to screw with you more than the wrist.
Right. No, and then I hate to end this my segment here with this,
Yeah.
but to the Andy Russell family, to the Russell family, you're in our thoughts and prayers. He died at 82. Was Pinnacle was on those 70s teams, won 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers, and Art Rooney II did give a statement today that he was the part of the foundation of the great Steelers teams of the 70s, and we're thinking about his family and the contribution he made to the goddamn Steelers organization and all the Yinzers out down there in Pittsburgh there, Trevor. So
Oh yeah. Bear in mind, this guy turned out to be a cornerstone in the early stages of the Steel Curtain.
Yep.
He was basically one of the founding members of that defense. He was a 16th round pick. Back when the draft was God knows how many rounds. I mean, we complain that it's 7 rounds in the last 3 days today. I think it was, I couldn't even put a number as to how many rounds it was back then. But this guy was a 16th round pick. He also served in the military, so we of course thank him for his service there.
Yes.
Former Steelers MVP, and he set a playoff record, longest fumble return in 1975 against the Colts. He ran the ball back 93 yards on a fumble recovery. That record stood until Sam Hubbard last year for the Bengals and had a 98-yard return against the Ravens. It was on that when what's his name? I think it was Huntley tried to dive over, and then they swatted the ball away. Hubbard ran it all the way back. But anyway, back to Andy Russell, a true Yinzer.
Yep.
A true Steeler, and from every statement that I've read, one of the best human beings to play on the gridiron with.
No. Shout out to Andy, and God bless him. Thoughts and prayers to the Russell family. But Trevor Sakeman now taking over here. Go ahead, Trevor. It's all you, bud.
Okay, yeah. Oh, where should I start, good sir? I actually have a few things here before I get into my draft dissertation and my what's more likely here.
Okay.
Something that I've been very excited about, and I think the sports video game community is very excited about, is the release of EA Sports College Football 25.
Yep.
And some news on that. EA Sports, as of Friday, reached 10,000 opt-ins for collegiate athletes to the game. That's 87% of its goal. And these teams in this game, they're going to feature 85-man rosters. So there's going to be a lot of developing to do and a lot of representation at the collegiate level here. So what's nice too is those who opt in, they get a $600 stipend and they get a free copy of the game. So one notable athlete to opt out is Arch Manning. I believe he opted out within the last couple days. Up and coming quarterback of Texas. He's going to be the starter whenever Quinn Ewers, probably when Quinn Ewers declares for the draft next year. But regardless, it's a game that I've been excited for the better part of a decade and a half. I'm back, so very much looking forward to when that comes out and see my Irish, see my Nittany Lions, and win national title after national title after national title with the dynasty team.
Right.
So very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Another one. Another one I had on my list here, the Andy Russell thing. You already brought that up.
Yeah.
And then brought up the Russell Wilson one, $85 million in dead money, just to correct myself from earlier.
Oh, okay.
I know I'm kind of bouncing around sports, but want to talk about one of your guys, or a guy that's on your team anyway. LeBron James reached 1,000 points.
Yeah.
He did that on Saturday, first player ever to do it, extending his lead as the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. And I guess remember the what's more likely from a few weeks ago when I said
he's
going to get it within February?
Yeah.
He didn't, turns out.
All right.
He didn't. So whatever the other option was on that was probably correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, he entered that matchup against Denver at 9 points away from 40,000. And actually counting both playoff and regular season points, he's at 40. He was at 48,000 entering Saturday. I don't know how many he had since then, but obviously far away going to be the leading scorer in NBA history when he hangs it up.
Yeah.
Another record here. I got to talk about Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
And what she's meant to the collegiate game at Iowa. She's just an absolutely insane athlete, and she just set the all-time NCAA scoring record, long held by legendary Pistol Pete Maravich. And what's impressive about Pistol Pete's record, and I don't want to take away from Caitlin too much here, but what's impressive about Pistol Pete's record at LSU, he averaged 44.2 points a game over his 83-game career. Absolutely insane. Not only that, he did that without a three-point line.
Right.
Without meaning he had to chuck up a crap ton of shots per game, and he did. He shot the ball about 38 times a game.
Right.
You can imagine that. Not he scored a lot, but he was also a pretty good distributor of the ball. Average 8 and 5 assists and rebounds per game. So. Somewhat versatile, but obviously 44.2 points a game. There's some teams that don't score 44 points in a collegiate game. Pistol Pete averaged 44.2 by himself, which is just utterly insane to me. And don't get me wrong, Caitlin Clark, very impressive as well, averaging 32.2 this season. She scored a season-high 49 against Michigan last month. And over her collegiate career, she's hovered around 27, 28 points a game. On top of averaging 7 rebounds and 8 assists. So still very involved in the offense, very focal to that Iowa Hawkeyes attack. As of right now, she has 3,685 points and has made 509 threes in her career and shot 38.2% from deep on her way to becoming the all-time NCAA scoring leader.
Right. No, I think what impresses me, Trevor, us being basketball fans and people watching, the amazing thing with her, and I think I alluded to it about 3 weeks ago, she literally can fucking pull up from anywhere, and it possibly could go in. The only person I saw or have seen be able to do that is Curry. It's like every time she releases it, it looks fucking good. You know, I might clank out, but it's like, damn, like she is on all the time.
Oh yeah,
So I'm excited to see her.
She's like a Curry Luka hybrid in the women's game. It's very fun to watch.
Yes,
it's very fun to watch. She has the facilitating skills of a Luka, and then obviously, like you just said, the pull-up skill can basically pull up from anywhere and make it of Steph Curry. It's very fun to watch her work. Not really much more to say. She's going to be, when it's all said and done, known as the greatest women's collegiate basketball player of all time, in all likelihood, and deservedly so. Even though it took her 4 years to do it, took Pistol Pete 3 years to do it, still, nonetheless, very impressive to do it, especially in the women's game, too, where scoring typically not as high, and I believe the quarters are shorter as well. The whole length of the game is a little bit shorter. So, props to her for that.
Yeah.
Transitioning back to football here for a little bit. Do you want me to get into the draft picks, or do you want me to do what's more likely first? What do you want me to do?
It just happened.
You want me to do the draft picks? Okay. We can do that. I
love the analysis. I love it.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
To kind of go back to last week, I was talking about centers. And obviously, I landed on Jackson Powers Johnson. I learned something about him this past week that would indoctrinate him very well into the Pittsburgh culture. In an Oregon restaurant, I forget the name of the restaurant, so forgive me on that. But he has a sandwich. He has his own sandwich. And I want to list off all these ingredients, probably to make you hungry, is probably why I'm doing this. But I also want to prove a point. And the point is the Steelers need to go get this guy because he is perfect for Pittsburgh. Okay? Let me find this. Here we go. So it's actually a burger. He has a burger named after him in a restaurant in Eugene, Oregon. And this is what the burger has on it. It's on a brioche bun. Has barbecue sauce, queso, mac and cheese, pulled pork, bacon, and 2 beef patties on this mother heifer. I'll see if I can put it up close. The lighting's kind of off.
Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe I'll toss that to you and you can share it on the Buckle Up with the Instagram page.
Yes.
But yes, I want Jackson Powers Johnson, and I want that burger to come to Pittsburgh.
That sounds delicious.
Bring him over here.
Yes.
Anyway, so this week you have the thing up for Dinsy's draft dissertation. I looked at D tackles and defensive ends, looking at the opposite side of the ball from last week, just kind of building this hypothetical team from inside out like you would normally build a football team, right? You build it in the trenches first, and then you build outward. In theory, a lot of other personnel and organizations try it a different way, but still, if I'm playing franchise and I'm starting from scratch, that's how I'm doing it. But anyway, getting into the D tackles first, the clear-cut number one in this category, well, projected to be first picked anyway, is a guy by the name of Jerzon Newton out of Illinois. He stands at 6'2", 295, big guy, very big guy, projected to go 21st overall. And he didn't do anything at the combine, didn't work out at the combine. He has his status pretty well locked up as a first rounder. But from what scouts say, he has good instincts. He has good hands. He's a bit undersized and needs to improve in the double team game, but otherwise very good in the pass rush and in one-on-one blocks. And kind of spoiling my pick again, I should save this for the end, but this is the second week in a row. I'm going to say this is the guy that I want. And it's a guy by the name of Byron Murphy II out of Texas. This man stands 6'1", 308, ran a 4.87 at the combine for the 40. Pretty fast for a D tackle. He's described as having an NFL-ready body. He has a quick get-off, and he maintains a wide base when he's rushing the passer. He's a bit short on the arms, doesn't get a whole lot of extension on it, but nonetheless still powerful and still willing to rush the passer and the rushers, so to speak. But my opinion, that guy has the athleticism and the size that you'd want out of an ideal NFL D tackle, and it's a guy that you can honestly build your defensive line around. In that same vein, a guy by the name of Tavondre Sweat, also out of Texas, not exactly the polar opposite, but a very good complement to Byron Murphy. This man stands at 6'4", 362. Big MFer.
Ooh.
Ran a 5.27 40, so not the quickest guy. 26-inch vertical. So again, not the most athletic, but he's big. He's large. He takes up space. And I believe scouts described him as, like I said, one big MFer. So, yeah. Yeah, so again, very good against double team blocks, but his lack of acceleration can lead to him missing out on some gaps, and it's not a good situation sometimes in the run game. But again, a very good complement to if you have a speed guy inside. Then another guy I wanted to talk about who had a really good combine, but isn't exactly highly touted. He's actually projected to go 68th overall. Braden Fisk out of FSU. Okay. He's a bit on the undersized side, 6'5", 297. So not all that big, but he ran a 4.78 40. He actually did 26 reps on the bench press, which was pretty good. I believe that was third among D tackles. a 33.5-inch vertical, and an almost 10-foot broad jump, if you can believe that.
Jeez.
Very athletic human being. And he was actually only a 3-star coming out of high school. So if you can imagine that, and he showed out at the combine, definitely raised his stock. The biggest knock on him is his hand fighting. He's not very good with that. He mostly relies on his leverage and his power to rush the passer and to clog up running lanes.
Mm-hmm.
But still, a very technically sound D tackle coming out of a D1 school otherwise. And honestly, he might be a bit of a hidden gem later in the draft. Maybe if the Steelers wait a little while to draft interior defensive linemen, if they do decide to go that route, Braden Fisk might not be a bad option. Then another guy I wanted to touch on real quick, and this guy's about a level below T'Vondre Sweat that I talked about earlier. Guy by the name of Chris Jenkins, a very good defensive tackle out of Michigan, one of the cornerstones of that defense on that national championship team. Stands at 6'3", 305, ran a 4.9, 140. And again, pretty good vertical jump for a D tackle, 30 inches, and he hit 29 reps on the bench press. And bear in mind, this is 225 pounds that they're doing these reps at. So strong boys. Yeah, strong boys for sure. Yeah, for sure. And his biggest thing is his spatial awareness and his play recognition. Gets off the ball real quickly, but he struggles in the bull rush and with the power moves, and he struggles against double teams as well. But at the same time, if you have a guy that can attract double teams, that's not such a bad thing. Just ask Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns and Cleveland Browns fans. Right. And there's a few other guys out here. I have a whole spreadsheet of all of this.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And since they threw the combine stats out there, I have the 40 times bench press, vertical, broad jump, all that stuff, all the drills on here for those that participated. But yeah. And that's kind of how I'm evaluating these guys at the moment too. I honestly do need to watch more tape on these guys, but I've seen some of these guys in action. Like I've watched a bunch of Texas games where I saw Byron Murphy and T'Vondre Sweat, as well as Chris Jenkins. Unfortunately, I watched him tear up Penn State a couple times. Oh, but wow, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. On the DN side, and let me make this distinction too. I'm talking about defensive ends. I'm not talking about edge rushers. So think like your nickel defensive ends. That's what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about outside linebackers. So you're not going to hear about a Chop Robinson here. You're going to hear about defensive ends. So a couple guys I want to touch on. Another guy out of FSU by the name of Jared Verse. Very athletic, 6'4", 260, ran a 4.58 40, and believe it or not, pounded 31 reps on the bench press. Jesus. Very strong dude. Very great athlete. 13th overall ranked prospect, likely to go in the top 20, received a draft grade of 91, which is pretty damn good. I believe the highest draft grade out there is Marvin Harrison Jr. with a 95, so just bear that in mind. And that's per ESPN's rating system. So Mr. Verse here, good get off, reacts quickly to the snap, and he's very physical at the point of attack. Needs to develop an inside move as a pass rusher. He doesn't have a whole lot of inside move to fill in that A gap if he needs to. But again, that's something he can definitely work on. And he's not very good, not very comfortable dropping into coverage like you would normally expect an edge rusher D end type to do. And another guy that impressed me here, and he impressed me at the combine, a little known guy named Marshawn Nealand out of Western Michigan. He's projected 78th. He's ranked 78th overall as a prospect in the NFL draft. Fourth ranked at his position. Stands at 6'3", 275. Pretty quick on the 40, 4.75 seconds. Hit 21 reps on the bench press, 35.5-inch vertical, and damn near a 10-foot broad jump, if you can believe that.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Talent-wise, he's probably worthy of a day 2 pick, maybe fringe day 3 pick. But he has an NFL-ready body, my opinion. He has a pretty NFL-ready body. Again, 6'3", 275, pretty athletic. Ideal for a defensive end. I think that's what you want. But he needs to work on the hand fighting, and his movement has been described as clunky at times. So, yeah, not good. Not good. But if he can work on some of those tangibles, he's already got the body. He doesn't have to work on that. He needs to work on the field stuff. He already hits the gym. He just needs to hit the field. Yeah. Then a couple other guys I want to talk about. Braylon Trice out of Washington, ranked 36 overall as a prospect, 6'4", 274, ran a 4.7 240. And this guy is described as a disruptor. Plays with a very high energy, very high motor, and from what scouts have described, pretty good in the play awareness and the snap awareness aspect of things. Pretty good get off of the ball, although that does need to expand a little bit. Needs to expand his arsenal, his hand fighting arsenal, and his pass rush and run rush moves. That, and he's kind of missing some acceleration and lateral quickness, which can, again, lead to some guys getting through the holes that maybe shouldn't.
Right.
Then one last guy, kind of a prospect I didn't really hear about, Darius Robinson out of Missouri, 6'5", 296, big guy.
Holy shit.
Big guy, can set the edge pretty well. Again, pretty good body already. Very NFL ready. And he's got a good bull rush, and he's got a good go-to arm over move. You know how TJ Watt has the arm under move? He's got the arm over move, more of a swim type of move.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, with that size, he doesn't have the athleticism to compensate for that, at least at the moment. And one of his biggest weaknesses that scouts put out there was his lack of change of direction skills. So not easily able to go from here to here laterally. So, but out of this bunch, I would probably go with Darius Robinson, as weird as it is. Again, NFL ready body, doesn't have to worry about it too much. If you're looking for more of a pass rusher, this is probably the way to go. If you're looking for more of a run stopper, you're probably looking at Jared Verse or Braylon Trice.
Okay.
But I like pass rushers, so give me Darius Robinson out of Mizzou.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just have to say, fans that are older than us, Trevor, like our dad's ages,
Yeah.
Here's what blows my mind. Jack Lambert, example, just to throw that out there. He was
Sure.
6'2", 215.
Yep.
And now you got fucking guys like, I know we're talking defensive line here, but even back then, defensive linemen weren't 6'5", 305, and they can fucking jump 10 feet, and like that's just that just blows my mind. Just the way I step on a football field now. God damn it, everybody's fast. Like you were saying, the times. Shit.
Yeah. You brought up a good point, too, with Robinson. He can get his paw up there, much like Cam Hayward can. You know what I mean? 6'5" frame. All you got to do is get a paw up there. If you're not getting home, defensive linemen are getting better and better at that. That is becoming more and more of a valuable skill for nickel defensive linemen and even nose guards and defensive tackles.
Right.
Because it's a passing league, right? And it's a quick passing league in a lot of senses. Quick passing over the middle. If you can disrupt that, you can disrupt an offense.
Right. Are they measuring guys' hands? One guy I want to know the size of TJ's. TJ's hands, if no one's ever actually watched, if you haven't been to training camp or anything, when you see him walk by, and it could cover my whole face, his hand.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
It's like holy shit, and he's palming.
Massive.
Palming football. It's like it's not. I don't know. It's just amazing to me. I don't know. These guys are freaks, and that's why they're But I can't stress enough. I was watching Draft Combine. Very important. Like the reports you're going through here. these guys are just trying to make it. Like, this is it, man.
Oh,
Like,
facts.
their
Absolute
dream
facts.
is here, and they're so goddamn close, man, to hearing their name on whatever day it is. I just, that's why I love draft. I cannot wait for draft night. I just can't wait to see the outfits and the excitement of the families that literally get their lives changed because of the efforts of their son or nephew. So I'm pumped. I'm fucking jacked up. Good segment, Trevor. Hell yeah.
Thank you. I know it was very analytic heavy and very statistics nerd type of stuff.
Love it.
But, I go on nerdgasm sometimes. What can I say?
Right. No. Anything else for draft picks for you, or are we?
No, I think I'm all set.
Okay.
And I do have it scheduled out. I'm going to be doing returning to the offensive side of the ball next week. I will be doing guards and tackles.
Okay.
Guards and tackles. There's a
fuck
plethora, mostly tackles. It's a very tackle-heavy draft, and it's a very lot of guys that could go in the first round, and especially on day 2 at the tackle spot. I'm not going to spoil anybody right now. Tune in next week.
All right. We appreciate it. That was good. But what's up next? What's more likely, or are we?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I had. Yeah. Oh, actually, next on my notes, I got ahead of myself with the Powers Johnson thing and the sandwich, and now honestly, now I'm kind of hungry. I'm probably gonna go on.
Very good.
Go get some munchies right after the show here, but we got a show to finish up, and we got a what's more likely segment to do. So let's do it.
All right.
So I brought this up to you last night on PlayStation. One of these both of these topics I believe we touched on. And this is how I chose to integrate it into the show tonight.
Yes, sir.
What's more likely in the next 5 years? The NFL all but agrees to expand the regular season to 18 games at the next collective bargaining.
Yep.
Or the NCAA tournament is, again, in principle and in agreement to expand to a 72 or 76 team field. Both have been thrown out there. And even the college football playoff, they're already thinking about expanding that. We haven't even tried the 12 team format yet.
Right.
But let's just focus on NCAA tournament and NFL regular season. What do we think?
It for no reason. I don't know if I was just in that mood of pissed off, but when you threw that out there, it's like I don't 18.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, so and you would still only have one bye week, so you're adding on another.
Yeah, you'd have a week 19 instead of a week 18. You'd have one.
I like the NCAA one because I want to see more college athletes be able to get the spotlight if we open the pool. I don't want this. I don't want to. I was pissed off when it went to 17. I was very angry. I wanted 16.
And you even said it last night. Go back to 16.
We're just seeing injuries and
mm-hmm.
and I know it's not even part of your question. If they go grass field, fuck it, go 18. Go 18. I think everybody. Yeah. I think the players would be fine.
It's a huge factor, yeah.
But here's the other thing too is we need to focus on if it keeps going up, these records. That's what's pissing me off a little bit. Some of these old records, and I watched the fucking Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire thing today with the records. What the hell was his name? Trevor that had it.
Roger Maris.
Yeah, Maris.
Roger Maris.
See, he had a shorter season. There was a whole bunch.
You can throw an asterisk on literally every record out there if you want. You can. The record I just brought up with Caitlin Clark, you can throw an asterisk on that because she did it over 4 seasons. Pistol Pete did it in 3.
Right.
She had a COVID year. She had another year of eligibility.
I just hate that extra.
Just appreciate greatness, please.
Right.
Please. I mean, I know these sports shows need something to debate, and yes, we need something to talk about, sure. But I like to think, we get a little bit more of fulfilling stuff on this program, a little less, screaming in your face type of stuff like we see, on ESPN pretty much at every single hour.
Yeah.
Just appreciate greatness, please.
I could just see that being an issue, though.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, yeah.
That's always going to be an issue.
I know.
It always is.
Right. Tyreek Hill's record. I mean, people were, okay, well, Jesus Christ, he has an extra week. I go, well, he's still fucking playing lights out here. I mean, what do we even care? You know what I mean? I know. That's just the only thing I could say. But before anything changes, go back to grass. Or like I told you last night, go back to AstroTurf, because these guys are bitching about how their bodies hurt. They hate the injuries and all that shit. People are
and I've described on this program before quality of play, scoring.
Right.
That's down. It was down this past year anyway, because like you said, a lot of guys were getting hurt. We had how many freaking injuries at the quarterback position this past year? Most important position in the game, and guys are still getting hurt.
Right.
I can't even imagine what it's going to be like if they expand to 18 games.
Right.
With that being said, I'll give my answer to this one, and I think it is the NFL agrees to expand to 18 games, just because they're when they want to do something, they're pretty aggressive about doing it. Right. Granted, they still got to wait until the next CBA, which is in 2030. They got to wait for that to come up, for the negotiations to commence, and then for everything to get passed and voted on.
Right.
I'd say within the next 3 years, we know, if not sooner than that, if the NFL is going to expand to 18 games.
Okay.
I mean, if insiders and executives are throwing that around already,
right?
Roger Goodell's definitely heard about it, and the NFL brass has definitely heard about it.
Yeah,
they're going to make it happen. Yeah. One way or another, they're going to make it happen. They're not going to an extra week of programming and ad revenue and everything else. Are you kidding me?
It's becoming
Yeah. What injuries, right?
We got to get to the point. We can't have. Because everybody, and we've seen it, Trevor, everybody bitches too, and I don't want to prolong this one question you have.
No, yeah, you're good.
But I got to say this. The athletes, okay, Roger's situation, okay, freak thing, first week happened, okay? But you got to change the goddamn field, okay? And before you extend this goddamn thing. I cannot say this enough, because you got a star, you protect the stars, and you couldn't protect the star because it just happened because the field's shit. So,
yeah.
Before we fucking expand it, let's focus on the actual damn thing they're playing on. Can we do that?
I don't disagree. I've been a long advocate of either grass fields or mostly grass fields. I understand, you want excitement in the game, you want the speed of the game to be as fast as possible, keep it entertaining, but at the same time, you can't sacrifice the very athletes that you rely on for programming each and every week, for quality programming and quality games each and every week.
Right.
So they just got to get their priorities straight when it comes to that. I'm in agreement with you, but like I said, I think the NFL is persistent enough and aggressive enough with with rule changes and with implementation like this.
We'll see at 8.
I mean, it was pretty quick that we heard about, they're moving to 17 games, and then all of a sudden, not a couple years later, bang, 17 games.
Yep.
So,
I'll still be watching. I don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's very few things that could make me stop watching football. I just love the game that much.
Right.
And of course, I love my Steelers that much, even though I'm wearing a different Pittsburgh team tonight. And you'll see why here in a second.
Okay.
But anyway, so I don't know if you saw. You said you saw the combine, right? You saw some of the combine, some of the highlights of the combine. You had to have seen Xavier Worthy then, right?
Yes.
Ran a 4.21, beat John Ross's record. Yeah.
Very fast.
Yeah. I'm not going to repeat a line that Gus Johnson once said, but he's got well, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not gonna, just go look up Gus Johnson getting away from the speed, and then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so there's rumors floating around that he raised his stock so much that he might go in the first round or early day 2.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you. I believe he's projected around 42nd overall right now, which would put him early day 2, 10th pick in the second round.
Yeah.
And then another guy whose stock is raising, Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
On that same Rich Eisen show, they said that Jaden Daniels is the number 2 quarterback in the draft now, right behind Caleb. Caleb's still number 1, apparently.
Yeah.
Which, nothing against Caleb. Uber talented.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a defense to help him out at USC. I'll give him that. Talks the right talk and has walked the right walk talent-wise.
Yeah.
But Jaden Daniels, a lot of times, is described as the most pro-ready guy. So I will ask you, what's more likely? Jaden Daniels is the second quarterback taken in the draft, or Xavier Worthy is taken in the first round?
Do we know where did Ross go? Did he go first round?
Ooh, that is a very good
I didn't mean
question.
to put you on the spot there.
No worries. I can search it real quick. Not a problem. Let's see.
Oh, he went, okay.
9th overall, although he was highly touted before the 40 time. 9th overall in 2017, by the way, to the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'll tell you right now, I could see. I fucking really like Drew May. I really like him. That's why.
Drake May, you mean?
Wait, what you say?
Drake May.
Or Drake May. Sorry, Drake May. Drew, I'm thinking my fucking Drake May.
No, you're good.
I really
You're
like him. UNC stand-up.
You don't share a name with him, unfortunately. Sorry.
I wish I did. God damn it. But
yeah.
He is a. I think he would be. That's just me being selfish. I think he's the second best. I do. I really enjoy watching him. I do. I like his build. And maybe combine whatever, but I don't see that guy going second. I see this fucking guy with that 40 time. People want speed. They want it. Tyreek Hill has shown people want fucking speed. I don't know talent-wise all around how good that kid is, but fuck, speed kills. I see him going first round. If Al Davis was still alive, Trevor, he'd draft him. You know this.
No, I'm aware of this. I'm aware of this. He would. What pick do the Raiders have? What pick do the Raiders have?
No offense to the Raiders.
They're 13th. Al Davis would take him at 13.
I almost knocked my mic out. I know Raider fans, Nate, everybody's going to give me shit. But he's like, look at this fucking toy. Okay? It's like this new shiny. When Toys R Us was a thing, and he would be, it would be like Al coming in to the store and seeing this shiny fucking toy. I want that.
Yeah.
Well, Al, he's Mr. Davis. He's fast. I want him. And if he was still alive, they'd take him at 13th pick. I'm telling you right now.
I believe it. I believe it.
So,
I believe it.
Someone's gonna pick him up just because he ran that 40 time. Watch
no, I hear you. I hear you. There's probably going to be, I'd say 3 or 4, probably 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10.
Yeah.
Washington's second, Pats are third, Arizona's 4. They're not going to take a quarterback. They're sticking with Kyler. Chargers are probably going to trade out of that 5th spot.
No.
We've already discussed the Giants. We don't know what the hell they're going to do. Then you got Tennessee, the Falcons, the Bears again at 9, and then the Jets at 10.
In fact, here's another thing. Titans grab him. They need speed. They don't have really shit. No offense. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins. That's it.
I know. I mean, you're saying they take Worthy or they take Daniels?
Worthy.
They draft Worthy that high?
I'm telling you, that 40. We're going to see some shit on draft.
I understand. 40 time is 40 time, but that's in a controlled setting. You got to look at on the field. You know,
you got these GMs just oozing out of their pants. Oh my God, could you imagine the splash place we could have with him down the field? Look how fast he is. I'm serious. Watch it, Trevor.
I understand,
it's so
but 40 time isn't everything. I mean, John Ross, as good an athlete as he is,
right.
Look at how he's remembered as a receiver now. Kind of, yeah, exactly. And Calvin Austin, what's he good for? He's good for gadget plays, right? He's good for gadget plays, getting in space, if our offensive line can get him into space, which is rare. Speed isn't everything.
I know.
Maneuverability, route running, hands, all that. You need all of it.
Right.
You need all of it, as much as I hate to say it, which is why I'm going to say Jaden Daniels will be the second quarterback drafted in this year's draft. And if you want my prediction, he's going to Washington.
Are they out on Hal, do you think?
I think they are going to give him some serious competition.
Okay. I mean, at one point, what was it? Again, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, but what, 5th or 6th week of last season?
Yeah, he was leading the league in yards and like the 5th or 6th fantasy quarterback for a good part of last season.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah,
but no, I think that Jane Daniels, he knows the game well enough, and I think he can change a culture and change the dynamic of an offense well enough. Nothing against Hal.
Right.
Good quarterback, knows the game very well, and quite frankly, I think he could make a very good coach at some point, whether it's position coach at the collegiate level or OC at the collegiate level or position coach at the NFL level. I think he could be a good coach, but my opinion, I see his ceiling as a very highly touted backup and perhaps a journeyman. And I think that journey starts relatively quick with Washington taking Jaden Daniels.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah. So, again, bouncing around with different sports. Going to basketball.
Yep.
We also talked about the Celtics and the run that they're on. Won 11 straight. Lost, 3 games at home. Have an average differential of plus 11.5 points, by far the best in the NBA. Just on an absolute tear. Gave Steph Curry his largest loss of his career. They won 4 games by 50 plus this year. Yeah. They're just absolutely killing it. And obviously right now they're the outright favorites to come out of the East and the favorites to win the NBA championship. Mm-hmm. On the opposite side, you got the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. We're looking to repeat. Yep. So I must ask, what's more likely? The Celtics go on, fulfill their destiny that they thought they were going to have when they brought in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and all the rest.
Yep.
Or the Nuggets repeat as champions, and the first time, actually, not really the first time in a long time, but the first time since the Warriors repeated in 17 and 18.
I can't come with this. Nuggets. Here, and I'm not kissing your ass here, and I make it clear to everybody, I'm not kissing your ass. We still have Embiid. We need to pump the brakes.
No, I know. He's in the middle of rehab right now. He's rehab.
So you again, like we talked, I think it was last week or the week prior. He comes back, he's fresh. He's going to be a little dinged up from not playing, but God damn it.
And kind of on that note too, we're like I kind of predicted, we're treading water without him. We're 6-8. Right. We won some games against some good teams. We beat the Mavericks the other night.
Yes.
Even though Luka went off again, I think he had like 37, 38 points. But we have role players that are stepping up right now and can help us tread water until the big guy comes back. Now, obviously, we're going to need the big guy to make a run. That's just a given. But Celtics are too damn good, man. They look really, really good right now.
Like Magic said,
they're just.
Well, like Magic said it in the Lakers Celtics documentary. If no one's watched that, 30 for 30, watch it.
Highly recommend.
I will hate anybody that wears that Celtic green until the day I die. I will not do it. I won't. Nope. I'm never going to.
I choose to hate the entity more than the people wearing the uniforms.
Right. Except Larry Bird, he gets a fucking pass. That's
Larry, of course, with me as well. Larry gets a pass. I liked McHale, and I talked about in my all-time lineup. What was it, last week? I think we did that, or the week before.
Yeah.
Hondo, one of the best six men of all time.
Yes.
So I have appreciation for certain Celtics players and how they revolutionized the game and how they made the game what it is today. That being said, as a Sixers fan, I am obligated to hate the entity that is Boston Celtics. So I will go with the Nuggets as well to repeat.
Right. And I hate Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out there.
I know. I'm not a huge fan of him.
Dirty motherfucker. But anyways, okay. Yeah.
I'm
going with Nuggets to repeat. Jokic made in a lab somewhere special.
Yes. No.
Just like Embiid, but God damn it. I told you, Trevor, they want to run him at 1. He could fucking do it.
Yes.
Like if Bol worked out and they could have put him down there in center and have Jokic, it could have worked, but it didn't. So
Jokic, he's more of an inside-out facilitator. He needs to get deep into the post. He needs to create space on the outside. So, and obviously with his size, he needs to be there. He needs to be down there. Right. Embiid's similar. He needs to get in the post. When Brett Brown in his latter days, when he was running that offense and had Embiid out on the perimeter, I literally lost my voice on multiple occasions screaming at Embiid to get into the post before I realized, wait, this is Brett Brown's offense and this sucks. So
idiot.
Yeah. Toward the end he was. He helped us get out of the process, so I can't fault him too much.
Right.
But anyway.
Yes.
So, from teams that win a lot to teams that are losing a lot right now, the Wizards have lost 15 straight games. And the only other team without double-digit wins so far, let me actually verify that information, I believe is the Pistons. And I want to check the standings here just to make sure I'm not lying to you beautiful people. So give me one moment to bring this up. Yes. The only 2 teams without 10 wins so far in this NBA regular season, the Wizards and the Pistons. And the Wizards lost 15 straight. Pistons' struggles are well documented, set a franchise record for consecutive losses, and I believe set the NBA record for consecutive losses.
Jesus Christ.
So 2 really down on their luck franchises. And so I got to ask, Drew. You know what I'm going to ask here? I think you know.
Mm-hmm.
Who's more likely to win a regular season game next? The Wizards or the Pistons? And I have the next 5 for each team here. I'll list them off for you just so you have some background information.
Yes, sir.
And the next 5, and I believe it's including the games that are tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken. Give me one moment here. See if either of these teams are playing tonight. Yes. Yeah, Detroit. For Detroit in their next 5, they're playing Miami right now. They're actually losing by 3 toward the end of the 3rd.
Okay.
Then they have Brooklyn, Dallas, Charlotte, and Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Wizards, who it looks like they do not play tonight. Does not look they. No, they do not play tonight. Their next 5 is Charlotte, Miami, Memphis, Houston, and Chicago.
The Wizards are going to win the next game. The Pistons are a mockery. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They are. And to the viewers out there, sorry for the language. They fucking suck. They suck. They are awful. Chuck Daly is rolling in its goddamn grave. It's, I mean, back then it was the Lions. It's like they flip-flop, Trevor. The Lions weren't so good. They couldn't get over the hump, and the Pistons were winning the NBA championship. Now it's the Lions are doing shit, and the Pistons are piss poor. They're terrible. You and me could play on the
A
fucking
very
team.
apt description of the Pistons.
You and me could be on that team right now. That's how fucking terrible they are.
No.
I'm serious. They are awful. They are awful.
No.
There's no fluidity to the offense. It's like when guys get the ball, they shit their pants. It's like Mitch Trubisky in the pocket. It's terrible. I've watched one game of the Pistons, and I literally I was trying to find a spoon to dig my eyeballs out because it was terrible. I'm just being honest. Like, what are we?
I understand.
About?
I understand.
I mean, the Wizards, both franchises. I'd say more the Wizards. They're due. Gilbert Arenas going through all that bullshit. I'm not even going to get into what happened with him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, since 03, 04, it's been a fucking roller coaster for Pistons fans. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Just terrible moves, terrible draft picks. Yeah, that's just how it is.
They have the talent, just organizationally, they're just horrible.
Terrible. Who's their coach right now? Is it Casey?
Casey.
Yeah. That's the guy. That's the guy we're going to call in to fix this.
That's the guy. Well, I mean, he's had a pretty good coaching career to this point. I mean, but
coaches go to Detroit for the Pistons organizations to die. That's where they go.
Definitely a far cry from the 04 championship squad. I can tell you that much.
I'm sorry, I'm getting offensive now, but
yeah, you were okay. You were okay.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
I don't even think this might be going out on a limb.
Okay.
Just looking at the quality of the schedule, I think the Wizards get their next one. I think they actually beat Charlotte. And I don't know when that game is. I think it's in a couple nights. Pistons are going to lose to Miami tonight.
Yeah.
Let me actually check the schedule to make sure I got the timing right on this as well. I want to see when the Pistons play Brooklyn. Looks like they play Brooklyn 3-7, so in 2 days as well. I think let me just verify the Wizards real quick as well. Just doing a live online search of NBA team schedules. What a great way to spend a Tuesday night, huh?
Right.
Wait a second. Oh, actually, excuse me. The Wizards, they play Orlando tomorrow night. Yeah, they're not going to win that game though. And then they play the Hornets on the 8th, so a day after the Pistons play Brooklyn. I'll still stick with my pick. I'll say Wizards over Charlotte. Wizards over the Charlotte Hornets on March 8th. That'll be the next time one of these two teams wins a regular season game.
Right. And I just got to say this before we go to your next one. I'm seeing two players on their lineup because I forgot the one. Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
And the only, I guess, veteran, I'd say, that might be worth potential there. I think, he is the oldest guy. Evan Fournier. That's the only two players I see that are actually have talent on that team.
Yeah. I mean, Duran's supposed to be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
And
again, I haven't exactly kept tabs on how the individual players are doing for that team. I just know the collective unit only has 9 wins on the season. So, and don't get me wrong, I know what that's like. The Sixers won 10 games one year, so I get it.
You know what really puts the icing on the cake for me? They got Boeheim's son on the team.
Yeah. Yep.
I absolutely hate Jim Boeheim. Now that
I know Jim Boeheim. You don't like old Jimmy? Oh, come on.
After the show,
what's wrong with Jim?
I'm not even going to bring it up here because we'll get flagged. I'll tell you.
All right. Can you condense it into a PG-13 version for us, or are you just going to save it for later?
He did some acts that I'm not a fan of Boeheim.
And also, that wasn't hard. That wasn't that hard. I get a PG.
I wanted to go farther with it.
I understand. You can go further later, but give me a taste. That's all I want. That's what the viewers want. I want a taste of your hatred for Jim Boeheim.
Also, he did say, quote unquote, and you can find the quote. He also said that Bonaventure is where all the players go that he didn't want. So,
a bit of a fun fact for you, and not to go on too much of a tangent. I've told you, the viewers might not know this, but I'm reading Chuck Noll's book as we speak. And I forgot a coach during that era in the 70s for the Colts, Ted Marchibroda, went to St. Bonaventure, played quarterback against Chuck Noll.
Yes. Yeah. They got I think he's in their one of their cases there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, but I hate Boeheim. Hate him.
All right. Yeah, we can get more into that later. That's fine. We can get into that off air. You can, and then you can say, yeah. Then you can say all the words that will only get you potentially banned in a PlayStation group chat. That works.
It'll be good.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. I'm going to save the one that I'm wearing the gear for last here, as we touch a little bit on baseball. But sticking with basketball, going to the collegiate game.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate news out of Houston. They just lost their best defender and role player, Joseph Tugler, for the rest of the season. But they are ranked number 1 for the second poll in a row. So, good for them.
Yep.
What's more likely? That Houston gets bounced before the Sweet 16 without their best defender? Or, excuse me. Must be the beverage getting to me. My apologies.
You're right.
Allow me to repeat. Repete. What's more likely? Number 1, Houston gets bounced before the Sweet 16, i.e. in the round of 64 or 32.
Mm-hmm.
Or a team from the SEC wins a national championship, which has not happened since, do you know this? Do you not know this?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a guy on your team. Helped him win it. Anthony Davis. 2012. Kentucky Wildcats.
Okay, yep.
So what's more likely?
I go SEC. Yep.
SEC? I like that too.
Yeah.
I like that too. Because you got Bama in there. Go ahead.
They're due in Bama. I watched them. What was it? Saturday?
Yeah.
They look good. Bama looks fun.
Very good. Yeah. Good. I believe they're ranked 16th and from what I saw climbing. Trying to see who else is kind of in contention right now. I haven't paid too much attention to college basketball so far. This was kind of my prompt to get into that. But, of course, you got Tennessee. They're ranked number 4 right now. Kentucky, 15th. Auburn's 13th. South Carolina, of all teams, ranked 17th. Yeah. So you got a bunch of teams there that are going to be 4 seeds or higher that they can make a run. Not to mention Florida, 11-6 in conference play, just outside of the top 25. They're 21-9 on the season. Mm-hmm. So you got 6 legitimate teams there that can make a run. I like the SEC winning it all this year. One of the teams out of that pack.
Yep. I
know they don't have the best history when it comes to the NCAA tournament, but someone out of that pack is gonna rise up, and I think win them a title. I think that's the more likely scenario. Anyway, I think Houston, they have decent tournament history recently. They're kind of becoming a Duke where you don't really know what to do with them.
Yep.
But if I recall last year correctly, they made a decent run, and I think they'll do the same this year. Yeah. Even without their best defender, they usually have a pretty well-rounded team, even though they're in a bit lesser of a conference. So, no, I think they'll make a little bit of a run, and then an SEC team winning it all. I think that's more likely.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, our PlayStation comrade, who was supposed to be with us tonight, big baseball fan, big Mets fan,
yes.
Big Keith Hernandez and 80s Mets guy, not with us.
Yes.
But we talked at length about a guy that's on this team that was recently drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates out of LSU. Guy by the name of Mr. Paul Skeens. I'm getting very excited by watching his spring training tape. Him throwing the ball near the triple digits. Yeah, he gave up a home run the other day. That's fine. He recovered, and I believe he threw for, 3 innings that outing? So he did just fine. Just fine. And so I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Okay.
And it might be me giving myself a little bit of hope that he's going to get a call up in June and then he's going to sell a bunch of tickets and I'm going to go see this guy play. What's more likely? Paul Skeens is the next Garrett Cole, or Paul Skeens is the next, and you'll like this name, Bobby Bradley, a 1999 draft pick for the Pirates in the same draft as Barry Zito, who was drafted behind Mr. Bradley here.
I'd like to see him be like Garrett Cole and stay. Fucking stay. That would be nice.
Well, that's not what I asked. Is he the next Garrett Cole?
He could be.
And with that, he's going to go. He's going to go get a bag. We're talking about an owner that quarrels over releasing a guy a day early to save $30,000.
Yeah. Oh.
He didn't pay Garrett Cole what he wanted. If Paul Skeens turns into the next Garrett Cole,
right,
you got to take the whole package.
Right. Well, God, we've had AJ Burnett too was a victim of him.
He was a bit of a journeyman. He was on plenty of teams before us. So
right. But I could see him being the next Garrett Cole.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you. He shows that potential.
I haven't watched any highlights, but you're getting. Whenever I hear you or Nate get excited about somebody, I'm like, fuck, okay, all right, let's do it.
I'm very excited. The collective baseball world and Pirates faithful is excited about this guy. Okay. He is starting in minor league ball, but he's expected to breeze through that fairly quickly. And rumors are floating around, and especially within some of the group chats that I'm in, that he might get a June or July call up, depending on, okay. I don't even know if that's going to depend on anything. It might just, he might just be lighting it on fire down in the minors, and then we might just call him up just for whether it's to sell tickets or whether it's because we need another man in the rotation.
Right.
So. No, I'd like to see him become the next Garrett Cole. I think he has that potential. Needs to work on the control a little bit, but he showed pretty good poise the other day in spring training after giving up that home run. So, that's definitely a positive. He could have easily faltered, given up a bunch of other hits, walked some guys. Didn't do that, stayed composed, didn't give up any runs for the rest of the outing. Steady stream. And I know, small sample size, I get it. He's only had 2 spring training outings. But I think it's more likely he'll be the next Garrett Cole.
Yeah. But, and I got you and Nate fired up in our group chat. Chapman,
Yeah.
You got Chapman now and this guy,
I don't care.
I see a World Series coming to Pittsburgh.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't. You are giving me the worst thing that you can give me as a Pirates fan. You know what that is?
False hope.
I was just going to say hope, period. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't, in the words of Hawkeye, don't give me hope.
Right.
I don't want it. Not for the Pirates. I just want to watch. I'm just more appreciating the talent of the individuals at this point.
Right.
Ryan Reynolds of the world, Newman back when he was lighting the world on fire. O'Neal Cruz, throwing the ball 100 miles an hour across the diamond. I'm just appreciating the individual at this point.
I'm excited.
That's what I have to live for with Pittsburgh baseball, is to watch guys grow and, in all likelihood, move on to bigger and better things beyond Pittsburgh. That's what I have to look forward to with baseball.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to with Mr. Skeens here. So.
Yeah. Someday. Yeah. But anything else, Drew?
That was all I had for this week's What's More Likely.
Fucking beautiful.
I wanted to end it on a positive note, but then you brought up Aroldis Chapman. So
the only guy. Okay, all right. Fun fact for everybody before we end the show here, because
to end on a good note. Go ahead, Drew.
I got Trevor sweaty over Chapman. He is the only pitcher. I am terrible at the show. I am terrible at the baseball game. Fucking awful.
No, me too. I'm not very good.
When they come out with a throwback Chapman card,
yeah,
I get so jacked up because he's the only fucking guy I can pitch with and actually strike people out. I love him.
Yeah, because he throws it, 101 in that game, probably 101, 102 with some semblance of consistency. And
he has a fastball at 101, and then I think his slider's like fucking 85. It's like, all right.
God.
That's pretty. That's
Christ almighty, dude.
So, but
that's nuts, man.
No,
that's nuts.
But no,
learn to pitch with a Mitch Keller, damn it.
Right.
Come on.
Well,
you got to put the work in, bud.
I like pitching with Garrett Cole too. I like it.
Yeah.
Randy. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Well,
I want them to have a bird fly across so I can reenact it, but it never happens. They're always in the outfield. But anyways, it was another good show here. Buckle up with the boys. We appreciate you watching this video to this point. If you didn't, that's okay. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment, down below if you could. We got a big event coming April 25th. I fucked up on my video. It's not the 29th. It's the 25th. April 25th for draft night shindig. It's going to be electric as all hell. If you watched last year, we're going to have a big giveaway with local, if you're in the Elk County, McKean area, because we're going to try to get some other restaurants involved. You'll have a chance to win some stuff from those wonderful people that are getting involved with us. So, don't watch ESPN or NFL Network. Fucking come here for the draft, okay? We're going to have some shit on the screen here for everybody to see what the hell's going on. Try to figure that out.
Can we do that still? You have to research that? We can do that?
We're gonna do. We'll talk after. There's
okay. All right.
But all right, I appreciate everybody coming in. All gas, no breaks. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. God bless. And this is another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys with your host DB and Trevor Dinsmore. Appreciate everybody. Love y'all. And we are going to get it on the right time.